Hey kids, as always, appreciate you guys hopping on and taking a look at our videos here. John Castanino here live, ice level. I'm actually in the box where they have that third announcer. I don't know who it was tonight, but we're in between the benches here. Let's flip it. We've got the Knights bench here on this side, and then we've got our little space, and then we've got the San Jose Sharks bench on this side. But the Golden Knights victorious in a critical Game 5, right? I mean, this thing was a heart stopper from start to finish, and I can just tell you the way it started with the fans and the crowd. This team kind of, I mean, the city always kind of defies expectations and logic, and the city continues to do that over and over. This team continues to do that, and this place was so loud before the start of the game. There's no question that the Golden Knights kind of felt a little bit more at ease here in this home ice, in this home arena. Pretty much a must-win, right? You've got to defend home ice. 2 of the last 3 games of the series here in Vegas. Just waiting for Matt to join me. Hold on. Just trying to see who's on this thing. Great TV here we got. I'm not sure if Matt's on. Matt, if you're on, comment. So I know that you're here, and we can get you to join. So there's Matt. We'll add him here. Join us here shortly to give us his quick reaction. But the Golden Knights, boy, they closed it out. This thing was dicey. Hey, Matty, from the comfort of his own home.
What's going on, man?
I'm right here on ice level. Good to see you, boy. This was, it was great, and then it got a little scary at the end. We didn't think that the Sharks would put out a push like they did. Slashing penalty on James Neal, kind of the catalyst to their comeback. Boy, you were hoping the Golden Knights would kind of shut the door on this team and maybe give them no glimmer of hope in a Game 6. But now they do have a glimmer of hope. So this thing, far from over as we go back to San Jose. What's your snapshot reaction to this one?
Well, it depends on how you look at it, because they got back into the game, but I think the Knights really took their foot off the pedal, especially when they got the 4th goal and then San Jose pulled Jones out of the game. I think that, just the mentality from the team, you have to assume they thought, all right, this one's in the bag. There was, maybe about 12 minutes left in the game at that point. The problem was they spent the first 10 minutes of the game on the penalty kill. I think they had 3 power plays, San Jose did, in those first 10 minutes. And that really shifted the momentum. You've got the Knights back on their heels defensively, trying to defend against the power play. And that first goal just sent things in motion. But, again, I think they were kind of in cruise control at that point. And then that 3rd goal, they tightened up. They were able to do what they had to do. The empty net goal by Marchessault to put it away. And
boy, that one felt
good. Have to come back to Vegas, and that'll put it away.
Yeah, and you mentioned the first goal, and I wanted to talk about that. James Neal, Johnny on the spot, right place, right time off the rebound. I believe it was Riley Smith who had that initial shot, and then James Neal banked it in. But in my mind, biggest goal of the series. 3 seconds left on the clock. The Knights dominate that first period. It's nice to see them get rewarded with that goal. I think it could be a different game if this game goes 0-0 into the first intermission.
It's funny how these games have played out so far. There have been these mirror images of each other throughout the series. You had Games 1 and Game 4, which were completely dominated by first the Knights, and then Games 2 and 3 time. In Game 4, you had that last, 6 seconds to go at the end of the first period, where the Sharks got that goal and really just, put the game away at that point. Even though the Knights ended up not scoring at all, that really put the game away and gave the Sharks all the momentum going into the second. And then here you get the Neal goal with 3 seconds to go at the end of the first period, and that just set the tone for the game.
Yeah, and Gerard Gallant and a few of the guys, I asked David Perron, what do you take away from that last 10 minutes? And certainly they say, you can't allow that stuff. So I think even though it got a little dicey in the end, I think the Golden Knights learned something. And we certainly learned something about the Sharks here, where you have a Game 1 that ends up 7-0, and then they've got a 4-0 lead in this game here. And the Sharks, never say die. Clearly that pulling of Jones, a catalyst, and that penalty to Neal, a catalyst for that little spurt that they had. But the Golden Knights now forced an elimination game. Just curious, what do you think about Jones getting pulled, his mental state? I got to think that's going to rattle him a little bit. He saw his team go on to score 3 goals in a pretty short amount of time. But it's got to rattle your starting goaltender going into an elimination game, getting yanked in the 3rd period, right? You got to think that there's something maybe not right up there when we go into Game 6 on Sunday.
I don't know. He was yanked after Game 1 too, and came back and played a pretty good Game 2. He did give up 3 goals, but it was still it was a well played game, and he's coming off of a phenomenal game 4 with that shutout. So he's a professional goalie. I think he'll be okay. I think the Knights now understand what they need to do to put this series away. All the pressure is now on San Jose. Going back home in front of their home fans, you can look at it two ways. Either that's exactly where they want to be, and they're going to come out and they're just going to play great in front of the home fans and force Game 7, or all the pressure in the world is on a team that's been to the playoffs, 18 of the last 20 years, and can't quite get over the hump, and now they're facing elimination against an expansion team. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the Knights come out flying around the ice like they did today. I mean, they were throwing guys at the net left and right. And you mentioned the Neal goal, which was off of a rebound, the power play goal by Tuck, which was just getting dirty in front of the net and waiting for that extra rebound chance to come off. The phenomenal goal, by the way, that power play. I think all five guys touched the puck on that. It was beautiful. This is the best they've looked through 50 minutes since Game 1.
Right, and that's what Gerard Gallant exactly said. 50 minutes, last 10, not so much. If you're on here, comment. We want to hear what your thoughts are. You think the Golden Knights will close out Game 6? I'd like to think so. And, Matt, going back to Jones really quick, I think it'd be a different story if he gets yanked and the Sharks lose 4-0. I think that gets into the psyche of the whole team. But the fact that they, put a little rally together, like I said, I think it sets Jones a little bit at ease. But how big is that Alex Tuck fourth goal now, the one where he bats the puck out of midair? This kid's phenomenal, 22 years old. He's playing some of the best hockey in his life, if not the best hockey of his life. And all these moves, and we have yet to mention this, but all the moves for Gerard Gallant paid off. Oscar Lindberg with an assist on the third line. Then you have the fourth line that played really well. Spiza played really well. So Gallant was pleased with all the moves. They all worked. Thankfully, they all worked for him. Boy, if the Knights don't come out with a win here, everybody's going to be second-guessing him. But what do you think of kind of the magic of switching the lines up that Gerard had in store for this game?
Yeah, it was great. It was great to see Perron back on that second line, first of all. He really created that first goal, the one with 3 seconds left in the first period, just keeping the puck alive, and his ability to stick handle was incredible. He's really the reason that they were able to even get a clean look at that goal. And then Tuck going back down to the third line, I think he's most comfortable there, playing with Eakin. The give and go, on his fourth goal, that give and go play that he had with Eakin, they knew exactly where each other were going to be. That puck never touched the ice, which was incredible. But yeah, we've been waiting to see Spiza back in the game. Everybody was excited to hear that he was coming back in. He was great early in the season. Unfortunately, battling a lot of injuries all year. He hasn't gotten enough ice time. The Lindbergh move was great. He looked really good. So it was. Gallant has the pulse of this team. He knows which buttons to push. He knows how to move guys around, and so far he's done a great job of making the right moves.
Yeah, Gallant's saying that he has some hungry players. He's noticed how Lindbergh has been playing in practice, and it was time to switch things up. We didn't think that. That it would be switched up as much as it was, but again, paid off in spades. Want to touch on Marc-Andre Fleury, phenomenal, again, through 50 minutes, right? And those goals at the end, not his fault. He was under a barrage, under a siege where the team couldn't clear the puck out. But thoughts on Marc-Andre's play? Boy, this guy, where would the Knights be? We know that this team would not be in the position that it's in without Marc-Andre Fleury.
No, some of the saves he made in this game, the one where he got stuck he got trapped back out to the front of the net, and somehow he was able to recover and get back to a spot and make a save. And then another one, I think he was over on the right side and got knocked down and was able to get back up and slide back to the left and make another save. And that blocker save he had where he just kicked his arm out and was able to redirect the puck. He was phenomenal. He was on the verge of a shutout. If they don't start that third period with 3 near consecutive penalties to just be on the penalty kill for the first 10 minutes, he probably goes on to the shutout. Honestly, those power plays for San Jose just really took a toll on the defense and all that pressure on Fleury.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's going to get the reference, but all those penalties back to back made me think of that goofy cartoon where he plays hockey and the two guys fight and then they go into the penalty box and then they come out and they fight again and then they go back to the penalty box and then they fight again. It's funny if you haven't seen the cartoon. I don't know. It jogged my memory. Fleury talking about that little fisticuffs, those shenanigans with Timo Meier. I thought it was funny. Asked him what was going on there, and he said Meier was just shoving everybody around. This was in, I think, the second period. I can't remember exactly when it was, but Meier kind of tapped the puck into the net, and then all hell broke loose. And it was hilarious because I saw it live. Fleury absolutely slashed the crap out of Meier. I mean, just went to town on the back of his legs. And the Sharks ended up picking up the penalty. But Fleury was funny, had a big grin on his face. He said Meier was pushing around his guys, so he was giving it right back to him. And again, this is Marc-Andre. Huge smile on his face talking about that, and just really enjoy talking with him and kind of getting that inside knowledge, from one of the best goaltenders in the game. That was really cool.
Well, if you're not gonna call Fleury on that slash, then I guess you can be okay with the fact that Burns came in and completely destroyed Carpenter from behind on the cross check and literally threw him into the net. So I mean, it could have been a 4-on-3 for 2 minutes right there, but it's getting chippy out there. I think the Sharks at that point in the game, it was 3-0. They were extremely frustrated. You could tell that I think after Game 4, they felt like they had this series in the bag, that they had all the momentum coming back into Vegas, and all of a sudden they're down 3-0, and there's nothing they can do about it because the Knights were just flying around. And I think their answer was to just start getting chippy, get physical, and try to get dirty in the game. And I mean, it really didn't work until Vegas started returning the favor with penalties in the third period. But other than that, I mean, 4-0 and completely dominated for 50 minutes.
Yeah, before we wrap this up, one other thing I wanted to mention. We talked about the power play and that excellent power play to make it 2-0, I think it was, with the crisp passing and the sharp passing. Gallant was asked about that, and this is Game 5 now. So these teams know each other a lot better than they did at the start of the series, and Gallant saying that we start to know their tendencies a little bit more, and he liked I think it was by design. They opened up that aggressive San Jose defense by having some short, crisp passes right around the ice. And as you said, all five players touched the puck at that time. So I was really impressed with the power play moving forward. What do you see here in Game 6, Matty? What do you think? Do we come back here for a Game 7, or do the Knights close it out in San Jose on Sunday?
I hope we don't come back for Game 7. I'd 6, plus it'd make you and me right, and we don't want to have to deal with Tony or anything like that. But like we talked about on the show last night, Gallant's going to make adjustments, right? This has been a series of adjustments. The Knights came out on fire, and then Games 2 and 3 were kind of murky, and then the Sharks made all the adjustments for Game 4. Now you see the Knights have made the adjustments for Game 5. So going into 6, I feel like the Knights have a better understanding of what they need to do to win this series. I think they're the better team overall. It's close. It's not like they're head and shoulders above the Sharks. This is a good series. It's a tight series, but I think overall they are the better team. And as long as they're able to impose their will and play their game, there's not much the Sharks can do about it. Pending, mucking it up, getting it dirty, and getting the Knights in the box. So I think they'll come in with the right mindset for Game 6. I think they're going to come in on fire and try to jump on the Sharks early. If they can get out to a 1 or 2 goal lead early in this game, you talk about pressure on the Sharks, man. I think they're going to have the weight of the entire city on their shoulders, and I don't know if they can take it.
Yeah, going back to our show last night, which you can see on our Facebook page, I did say at one point that Jones was going to have a 3-goal period. I'm not sure if I said he was going to get pulled, but, in essence, I can call myself right. I mean, he had a terrible stretch there, so I did call that, and maybe I'll pull that clip like Tony Cordasco does, and then just show it off on social media, when I'm right. And, you and I are right a lot. So my prediction for Game 6, I don't know. I want to look at the line. I'm pretty sure it's going to be even here. They both might be a minus $1.10. Maybe the Knights are a small favorite. Don't know. But I just say this. If they don't win Game 6, there's no way they're losing a Game 7 here at T-Mobile Arena. Just the energy in here, in this arena, you imagine a Game 7 here where the ticket prices are already sky high. Another attendance record here tonight, 18,693, I believe the number was. There's got to be a way they're going to cram in a few more people into this arena, but there's no way this team loses a Game 7. If something would have to go tragically wrong, I think, if it even goes 7. I am hoping for a win in San Jose. I think just based on this game, again, as you said, we know the Knights are the better team. We know they are. It just depends on how San Jose comes out. But I asked Oscar Lindberg a few questions, and I'll post the Fleury interview and the Lindberg interview on our Facebook page here when we're done with this. But just ask Lindberg about the crowd, right? He hasn't played in the playoffs at all, and said, does that set you at ease? Does it get you fired up? Or what do you feel when you hear the crowd as loud as it is? And he said there was no question the crowd louder during the playoffs in the regular season, and no question that he felt a lot better going out onto the ice. Maybe having a little rust on him from not playing, but he felt it, and I think if there is a Game 7, everybody's going to feel it. Don't see the Knights losing the 7th game here if it does come to that, but let's hope not. So that's all I've got. Matt, anything else?
I'm saying 6,
yeah.
John.
Yeah, hey.
I'm saying 6. I think they finish it off.
I don't mind at all. I'm not saying it's going 7. If it does go 7, there's no way the Knights will lose. While I'm here, I did this last time. I mean, let's prolong this thing a little bit better. So I'm in the box. I'm between the benches. What do they call that on NBC? Between the benches, right? I feel like a legit network anchor right now, and I think I'm talking so loud like the entire arena can hear me. There's only workers in here right now. I'm just chilling. So let's give you a tour. So flip it around. All right. So,
any candy on the bench today?
Yeah, we'll snoop around. So I did this once before. Okay, so here's the Knights bench. Patty's on. I say bring it home Vegas. Sure. Sharon says love our Knights. Close it out Sunday. Tiffany. Patty, VGK. A lot of family on here. Jorge Solano on here. Or George. Don't know what he goes by. But anyway, here's the bench. George. All right.
That's George.
So here we go. Golden Knights bench. Don't know what this is. The right stuff, it's called. Serious hydration for serious athletes. There's a couple of them down here. We have the smelling salts. We have the usual hot shot. There's a lot of pool of fluids down here. There's some bags of ice. We've got water here. Let's see who this is. So this one has an 18 on it. So that's James's. Clearly some sort of pink drink. Going down here. Yeah,
Put that
exactly.
on eBay, John.
Exactly. I know. Here's something new and unique. I know people are going to love this if they just watch it. I don't know what this is. Let's see. So is that lip balm? It is. We have some lip balm. I bet you some ladies would be like, oh, yeah, I want that. And I probably just touched it in a bunch of spit and crap. Jeez Louise. Yeah. Here's something interesting, Maddie. Don't know if you've ever noticed this before, but this is where the coaches watch the game from and watch replays. So there's monitors back here.
Oh, yeah.
And
the monitor on the floor,
right.
Yeah.
So there's a little riser here. You have the floor of the bench here, and then there's a riser here, and it's got a feed of the game or whatever it is. So if there is something funky going on, the coaches can look here, and then you'll go back here, and that's a straight line to the bench. So I know that there's some assistant coaches back here that are watching the game, and clearly if they want to challenge something, word comes out somehow. I don't know if just somebody runs out of the locker room, but the locker room's probably maybe 30 yards from here. It's straight back into those doors straight back there. So, it's a really cool setup that we have here. Here's the ice. No quick turnaround for a Cinco de Mayo boxing match here. So the ice will stay down.
It's unfortunate, man.
It is unfortunate. We can get on that tangent for a while.
I got my Canelo glove back here too. Look at this. We're all ready for tomorrow.
And then here,
got the Canelo glove, and
here's your poster for tonight. Eric Halla. Halla scoring a goal tonight, so the poster was lucky. Nice. So I'm gonna get out of here and go home. I got some kids to see. And that's it. All right, so we'll wrap it up, and we'll come back here Sunday night after hopefully a win in Game 6 and an advancement.
One more note, John. They're doing another watch party, Toshiba Plaza, for Sunday night. So I expect it to be pretty crazy out there, hoping to see the Knights close it out.
Yeah, and we'll certainly be there to document it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Comment, share. Matt, can you share this for us? You can share it, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, we'll see you guys soon.